I know the press has got you all fired up for fireworks at this particular event, so I'm sorry to disappoint you. This is going to be a bit boring. As an elected member of the Conference Committee, this is more intended as a minority report than as a motion for the direct negative. The Conference Committee report you are being asked to approve here is one that I strenuously opposed, and that has been produced despite my explicit objections to the procedural ruse it is attempting to normalise. There is no need to do what I am about to explain to you, but for reasons that are beyond my comprehension, those that make these decisions insist that they would rather try to be clever than to use the correct procedure. There are a number of things that our Constitution reserves for Conference to decide. Only Conference can change the rules that govern the constitutions of branches, for example. If one of you decides that the constitutions of branches need updating, say it becomes clear that March is a much better month for holding AGMs because it's a pain in the neck for treasurers to hold them in September, you would submit a resolution to Conference Committee. If it was competent, we would add it to the list of internal resolutions on the agenda, and it would be debated by you using the rules laid out in painful detail in the standing orders for Conference. Similarly, those very standing orders for Conference can only be amended by Conference. Any member that wanted to change them would submit a resolution to Conference Committee, etc., etc., etc. Conference Committee, in the new Constitution, now has a duty to keep those standing orders under review and to suggest changes to them as we decide are necessary. In light of that new Constitution, there are a small number of minor tweaks, deleting mention of SOAC and National Council, that sort of thing, that need to be made. But instead of using the normal process, it has been decided to slip those changes into the report of Conference Committee, a report that must be accepted for Conference to even begin, and to choose to interpret that acceptance as Conference approving those changes. That is not the normal process, despite what the National Secretary is likely to tell you. It is not something that is in any way supported in the written Constitution, rules or standing orders. It doesn't matter if that's how we did things before 2004, because we have gone through 2 constitutions since then, and it would still be wrong. It would still be a Rubicon we absolutely should not cross under any circumstances, in my opinion. Anyone that watched the recent Labour Party clown show conference should be well aware of why. What I would propose is that Business Convener accepts a motion to amend this report to delete the parts about the updated standing orders and to simply include those updates as an agenda item in tomorrow's internal session. Failing that, I would recommend that you reject this report of Conference Committee. The rules would suggest that at that point we can't have a conference and we would all have to go home early. But the National Secretary assures me that he has yet more procedural shenanigans up his sleeve that would allow him to ignore those rules too. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. The next speaker is